Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And a card that's part of a blog hop. Simon Says Stamps, July 2026 release, the Every Happiness release has gone live. I'll have a link to the release in the description box below. And as is tradition, blog hops to celebrate, give tons of inspiration, all the things. I will have a direct link to my blog post, like I always do with all my videos, but that will be in the description box below the video. Today we're going to do die cutting, adding a little depth and dimension with my OLO markers, splatter, 3D embossing folder, ink smushing, just about all the things as per usual. Everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, keeps lights on, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making the card. So I'm using this little textured color cardstock pack. Again, I used this in a previous video, and that little pack came in the July, I think it was the July card kit, but it's available like on its own. And I've been on this like textured cardstock kick lately, and something like this is super convenient. Never would have thought. I love it because I have this little thing right here and I've got all these colors just sitting in front of me. So I don't have to like dig through my stash, nothing. I just flip through, grab what I want, and we're good to go. So I'm using it with this tissue petal stems little die set. And I want to do like a rainbow of colors of these little florals. So I'm just kind of working my way through and cutting out pieces. This is when I do die cutting this is literally how I do it, whether it's a little pack like this or it's pattern paper or my other cardstock, like what have you. I get everything like cut out from scraps, whatever. If I'm doing multiple die cuts, which is what I'm doing now, I just make little piles of them so that once everything's ready to go, I can just start die cutting. And for this one, I decided to just use my little Sidekick because quick and easy, you know, especially when you're doing multiples. I've talked about this in like previous videos. I remember when I think it was like the Sidekick itself first came out. It was a mini machine anyway, like many years ago. And I was kind of just like, okay, really? Like, do we need this? Why? You know, if you've got a die cut machine, why would you need this? So useful. Love it. Ate my words. Especially things like this, or when you just gotta die cut one tiny little thing, or a little sentiment, just easier. Love it. And I have a ridiculous amount of mini die cut machines because I can't help myself and they're cute. Anyway, I worked my way through and die cut all of the pieces. And then another thing I'd love to do is add like depth and dimension to my die cuts. You can do this all sorts of ways. I'm using my OLO markers this time, and you could ink blend anything. With cardstocks like this specifically, like this type of cardstock that is like the color is printed onto the cardstock. It's a white core cardstock. All I would say is like test it out because it's interesting. Like inks and markers and different things will act a little differently on them sometimes compared to like solid core cardstock. So it's just something to keep in mind. But for things like this, quick and simple. So OLO markers, I just use hand sanitizer to clean it off my glass work surface. Isopropyl alcohol works as well. And I clean up between colors just so that the next shades that I'm using aren't going to pick up the color off my glass work surface. Because as you can see, I am just slapping it on. And if you haven't seen other videos I've done using OLO markers, one, I will have my playlist that has dozens upon dozens of videos in the end screen at the end of the video. But if you're not familiar with OLO markers, they are, in theory, a half marker, but the ink, like the amount of ink they hold is the equivalent of like 2, if not like 3 regular alcohol markers on the market. And they come with connectors. You can connect them so they're a normal size marker. I choose not to. I'm waiting for the fine nibs that come out next year. And I've just gotten used to coloring them this way. I prefer them using them like this, because then I can see all my colors at a glance, because I refuse to have 2 colors on one marker. That's just me. That's just me. So this works for me, but I always like to explain it because, yeah, it looks odd on camera. It looks uncomfortable. It's not. It's not, but it just looks weird. So I worked my way through the rainbow, adding the dimension to all of these little die cut pieces, and I love it. I love it. I love playing with die cuts. It's another thing I never thought when, standalone dies also came on the market. Again, many, many years ago. In the beginning, I was not the biggest fan. I was just like, they're okay for like accents, things like that. As always, I'm proven wrong, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So I continued to work my way through, and between these shades of green, this is where I don't bother cleaning up the ink on, like, in between them, because green and green, not a big deal. So adding the depth to these little stems, you can always skip stuff like this, but I like that little extra effort, I guess. And yeah, also it's just soothing, I've got 5 million videos on my channel of me coloring die cuts in pretty much every way imaginable. It just depends on my mood, what I want to do. And this time it was alcohol markers. So worked my way through. I did die cut some extras, because after I die cut the first whole batch, I die cut a few extras to put on the inside of the card. I also die cut one more color, because I'd laid them all out and I was like, ooh, there's space for one more. So I die cut one more, and then I'm going to add the color with the OLO markers. And I had extra stems anyway, since the die set, the stems all die cut at once, which is also convenient. So added it to this last little aqua colored bloom, and then assembly with these, ridiculously simple, literally. I just sandwiched the stem in between that back piece and the front piece, and then reverse tweezers for the win. Because, again, if you don't know, if you're new here, welcome to the chaos, y'all. But reverse tweezers are necessary. I use them all the time. I love them. I highly recommend having more than one pair. I know I always tell people, like, you don't need all the things and, extras and all that kind of stuff, but reverse tweezers, you do, because if you only have one pair, you waste more time looking for that one pair. Seriously, this is lived experience. I spent all my time constantly, and then once I got a second pair, they're friends, and then they multiply. So also warning with that, because I now have more pairs than I know what to do with, in a sense, but still. And I keep finding more. I don't know where they're coming from. We aren't going to ask. Anyway, after I assembled them, I set them aside. Ink smushing. I'm doing this directly on my glasswork surface. I've done entire spiels, videos, all the things about ink smushing and surface matters. If you really want like a lot of texture, etc., use like the non-stick craft sheets, etc. Because when you work on glass like this, as you saw when I sprayed the water, everything just starts sort of pooling together. But I'm fine with that. I just want some color and a light amount of texture on this background, which is distressed watercolor paper. And it was distress inks that I smushed, specifically Tumbled Glass, Salvaged Patina, and Evergreen Bough. And I had smushed the inks, sprayed some water, pressed the watercolor paper into it. I used the distress sprayer and held it, a foot or two above. And if you only press the nozzle halfway, you get the splotchy splatter, which, creates texture. Love it. And then the heat tool, just to dry in between to create some layers to create texture. And I used up like everything on my work surface. Just cause. I wanted just a nice soft background for my very bright and vibrant little florals. So continue to just sort of build up the layers on here, drawing in between, or mostly drying. It doesn't need to be like crispy dry. And once I'm like happy with it, which is basically right here at the end, I'll spray a little bit more water onto it just to, again, it adds a little bit of texture. I dried it, and then I am going to run this through my die cut machine with it's called a flower puff embossing folder from the Simon Says Stamps release. And normally with the Simon embossing folders, they're 3D embossing folders, with my Anna Griffin Empress die cut machine, I use one cutting plate in the folder. With ones like this that are a little more detailed, or if you just feel like you need more pressure, I add the metal shim. So that's what I did this time, just to give it a little extra something. And then to lightly enhance the like embossing, because it does get a little lost in this background. So I'm just going over it with white pigment ink, just direct to paper. It's going to be subtle. That's what I want, because I don't want this background like competing with everything else. So this brings out the raised image a little bit more, you know, little flowers, but subtle, subtle. So after I did that, I let that dry. I actually heat set it with my heat tool again, just to save myself the effort. And I die cut some black cardstock with the largest of the Petal Point Frames wafer dies. And then the background that I had ink smushed and embossed, I trimmed this down to fit inside that like frame of the black cardstock. And then I'm going to adhere all my pretty little florals. And these I'm just going to adhere with liquid glue to this background. And, you know, got everything laid out. Once I'm kind of happy with my layout, then glue these down with my craft tacky glue and super spread this up in editing. I took my time with it, but we don't need to sit here and, you know, watch in real time. So continue to work my way through and adhering. And I only put like glue kind of at the base of each of these flowers, so the petals kind of do pop up just a little bit on their own. But if you wanted to enhance that, we could tuck in, you know, little foam squares, things like that. But this was fine. So got these all adhered. And then I'm going to flip this over, trim off all the little stems hanging off the bottom. And then we're going to add a little bit of baker's twine. Can't go wrong with a little bit of baker's twine. So I'm going to wrap this around the panel. And then this is also where reverse tweezers come in super handy, because they're like a little extra pair of tiny hands. So start the knot. Use the reverse tweezers to hold that in place so that I can sit and fiddle, make my bow. Baker's twine is threads twisted together, so you don't want to pull anything tight till you're sort of ready, because otherwise you're just fighting it and it keeps twisting on itself. And again, reverse tweezers for the win. So once I had my bow and trimmed off the tails, I put Big Mama foam tape on the back of this panel and then pop that into place. So you've got a little bit of extra dimension here. And then I'm going to adhere this to my card base, which is a top folding A2 white note cards. So 5.5 by 4.25 inches. And once this is glued in place, I'm of course going to add some splatter. So Simon's Positively Perfect white splatter medium and the black splatter medium. These need to be stirred up. The pigment settles to the bottom. I don't recommend shaking these. It creates a mess. Again, lived experience. So I stir them up really good, and then I just dip my fan brush in, add a healthy amount of splatter. I do the same thing with the black, just a little lighter hand. And I'm a lot more careful with the black, because the black will stain everything it comes in contact with. So I try to be very aware of this one, because it's only a matter of time, but a demure amount of splatter with the black. in my world. And then I let that dry. And for my sentiments, I used the Big Bold Headlines XL Easy Strips. And I die cut them with the XL Easy Strips Rounded Rectangles wafer die, which is my favorite one. And after I die cut them, I keep the extras in the packaging. And then they're ready to go the next time I need to use them. So I picked out a couple sentiments. I'm adhering those extra flowers that I had die cut onto the inside of my card. And then once I get these in place, same thing, I'll flip this over, trim off the bits hanging off the bottom with my scissors. And then we're going to adhere one of the sentiment strips to the inside, just like so. And then, yeah, flip over, trim off those bits. And then the sentiment for the front, I'm going to pop up with another little strip of the Big Mama foam tape. And then as my final little embellishment, I'm going to add a bit of stickles to the petals, because you can't go wrong with stickles. I love stickles. So I used, I think, diamond stickles this time. Pretty sure that's what I used. Yes, diamond stickles. And I apply it really thin, and I'm just sort of like dotting. I'm barely squeezing the bottle and just dotting it. This one keeps it a little more subtle, but it's still sparkly. But also it dries a lot faster. You can apply stickles like thick if you want, like create dimension with them. You just need to set it aside and let it dry, which if you apply it thick, it will need generally at least overnight to fully dry. But I don't have that kind of patience, so I just apply it thin and it works. And then it's sparkly, and that makes me happy. So we've got texture and color and sparkle and splatter and all the things. I love it. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Like I mentioned in the intro, I'll have links to all the things. Check out my blog post. There's tons of amazing inspiration I've got linked in there, worth checking out. So that's all in the description box below. Thumbs upping and commenting helps a ton. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye.